Hi, I'm Matt Rosenthal, CEO of Mindcore Technologies. I want to share a story with you that I think would be tremendously helpful. It's about the topic of cybersecurity. I'm going to tell you the story of a current client of Mindcore's. I'm not going to share with you their name or anything that might help you figure out who they are to protect their privacy, but their story is really powerful and it could help every business out there. About 2 months ago, I received a phone call. No, sorry, it was an email. Received an email from just a friend of mine who had a friend who I had never met before, but that friend of his had reached out to him as a trusted advisor of his, asking him if he knew of anybody that could help one of his customers with a cybersecurity problem. Long story short, this individual finds his way to me, and the next day I was in his office. Very large company, like $100 million a year company. I'm in the boardroom with the CEO, a couple of other executives, and they're really suffering. Like they're in serious pain. And what I had discovered was that for 2 or 3 weeks prior to them meeting me, they had been dealing with a cybersecurity breach. All of their data was encrypted. Somebody had penetrated their environment, gotten access to all their servers, and encrypted all their data. And again, prior to me getting involved, they had been paying the ransom. They've been paying the Bitcoin. They were up to about $40,000 in payments. Little bits and pieces were dripping out. Bits and pieces of their information was coming out. They didn't get all their information back. And they reached a point where they were like, look, these guys are not going to give us, or these people aren't going to give us our data back. The business at this point was down. All the client information was gone. All the invoicing information was gone. All the inventory information was gone. And without saying the business that they're in, they are a large supplier to people all over the world of a very important and necessary product that, when they aren't able to supply that product, impacts another major industry tremendously. They were dead in the water. So what they had discovered, again, prior to me being involved, was that their backups hadn't run well for 3 years. They also discovered that the backup process that was in place wasn't even being followed. So they painfully discovered that not only was their data encrypted and they couldn't get it back no matter how much ransom they paid, the backups that they had, which had already been sent out to a data recovery organization, were at that point, they weren't helpful. So long story short, I come in and I say, look, I can help you in a variety of ways. Let me start out by helping you this way. Let me help you get control of what's happening. Let's see what data we really can get back. Concurrently, let's get you stood back up. Let's get this business back up and running, and let's come up with a plan to do that as soon as possible. Let's minimize this impact to you and to your customers and to your business as fast as we possibly can. They decided that they felt comfortable working with us, and they hired us. So what happened after that was we immediately went into action. We stepped in, began speaking with the company they were working with, who was trying to recover their data off of their backup tapes. And so we really pressed that. Took about a week. Ultimately, we discovered that they had some data, but it wasn't enough. All of the information needed to be recreated manually. Thankfully, they had begun that, but when we began speaking with them, I said to them, listen, don't even wait for this recovery. It doesn't seem like it's going to work out for you. Let's start getting everything back together. So they had already begun to put spreadsheets together, to compile inventory, to get things to the point where they could actually run the business and fulfill customer orders. They decided to allow us to, we ended up having to replace all of their computers because it seemed like every computer had been exposed. We did that very quickly, kind of isolated that risk. We took all their servers that were remaining offline. We stood up a cloud environment for them, got everything set up in the cloud with a fresh greenfield, so to speak, and within a couple of weeks had them really, really up and running confidently. Again, while at the same time working with a new CRM company that they had chosen to mitigate the risk of them ever losing this type of data and this type of productivity ever again. So the recommendation was, don't keep this stuff locally in your own environment. Use a SaaS provider. Use a top provider in your industry, and that's what they did. So between getting that SaaS provider in that cloud, moving into our cloud, where everything is backed up, everything is like bulletproof at all times, we took a really, really bad situation with a company that has been around for, let's just say, between 50 and 100 years, that was almost put out of business, cleaned it up quick, and now they're up and running fine. Everything is in great shape. Here's the lesson, and this is what I'm hoping you take away from this. You're never too small or too large as a business to be breached, to be on the receiving end of a cybersecurity attack. The potential of putting you out of business is real. This is one of 4 companies that I dealt with that's the same type of thing in a matter of the same 4-week period. Right now, as I record this for you guys, it's the middle of February. This happened back in December and January. 4 of them happened at once. We see a steady stream of these finding their way to us. Invest in cybersecurity, invest in a plan, invest in proactive measures. Be humble and realize that what you need is a trusted advisor that can tell you what makes the most sense, that can give you the guidance that you need to make really good decisions, to assess your current situation, to plan for the future, and to make sure that you don't get breached in this way and potentially almost put out of business. You could be a 5-person firm. You could be, I heard the story yesterday of a very, very large company, again, that I'm not going to mention, a publicly traded company that was just breached. I heard another story yesterday from one of my clients who's in the insurance business, who talked to me about a hospital, one of the top 10 largest hospitals in the country that got breached recently. They weren't prepared. I mean, you're talking about a hospital with all kinds of patient information. 2 months ago, they were breached. They're still not recovered. How do you even explain that? This is about guidance, knowledge, experience, strategic planning, and really being eyes wide open. Everybody is going to be subject to an attempt at a breach. The question is, are you ready for it? Even if it happens, and it will, how fast can you get back up and running? How well protected are you? How much downtime can you really take, and have you thought that out? When you measure the downtime and the cost of that downtime against the cost of proactively solving the problem, the cost of the downtime outweighs the cost of avoiding it or minimizing it every single time. So I hope this was valuable to you. Please share this video. Please like this video. Please comment if you have anything to say. Please comment on this video. This is the type of thing where the more people that we talk with this about, the more you're going to have an impact on helping everybody you know. So as always, thank you for watching.